Ladies and gentlemen, let's crown our champions. Tamaposa, he's putting in some minutes. Turbo saved. Follow up from Bonapanda. No matter how much pressure this man is under, he will never miss a shot. Oh, what a save! Lays it up to Turbo. Go, Kano. It's almost there. Follow, scores. Almost there. Justin keeps it alive. Tamaposa there. Bounces into the corner. Energy still around. Justin hit there on a shot. And this is Rocket League.
Hello and welcome to our virtual museum. Today we'll be taking you on a tour of eSports, more specifically Rocket League. I hope you enjoy your visit and learn something new along the way.
What is eSports?
We are live
here at the World Championship Finals.
Are you ready, Las Vegas? Game number one.
Already these early levels, Snis playing the lane perfectly.
but it might be too little too late. That's a good no-scope there from Skadoodle, but he still needs to get the ball down! Oh my god, he might be able to do it!
Well, looks like they're going to go for it. Aiden hopping right on down. Stinks coming, there's the knock. Looks like they'll find even more now. Thing goes in, he issues the ultimatum, and the price is death. Now the EMP being applied. Three people knocked out, though. Cowboy takes himself out with a right click, but Jordan is found too. Trying to trap this ball on the ground. K-Nup, he was faced the wrong direction, couldn't gain control of his car.
OG hitting the agent, hitting the agent. We're going to a game 5. We are going to a game 5.
Download and done it! How have they done that? They'll be eating well tonight. The LPL has never won before, but that will change today.
Flowers and friendship.
I've done it here, ladies and gentlemen.
And they do it. Cloud9, your season 6 world champions.
An esport, by definition, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is a multiplayer video game played competitively for spectators, typically by professional gamers. Esports encapsulates the future of mainstream sporting entertainment. Although the concept of esports has been around since the 70s, the rapid growth is only evident in recent years. It's only now, in line with the exponential rate of improvements to technology, that esports is taking off. In 2012, esports events had a total of 134 million unique viewers who watched online. Since then, that number has increased by 261 million to 395 million unique viewers in 2018. The younger generations who have been brought up surrounded by technology, in particular games consoles, are preferring to be entertained by watching other people play video games rather than traditional sports. By the end of 2019, the market revenue of esports is expected to pass $1 billion. In correlation to this, there's been a massive increase in prize pool money over recent years. The total prize pool money awarded in 2014 was just under $35 million. Come 2017, the total prize money awarded surpassed $121 million. A big reason for this in the increase of money within the industry has been down to sponsors recognising the potential and investing in esports. Fans' microtransactions and the level of support in viewing figures has also played a big role too. Esports, for many people, has enabled them to live out their dreams and play video games all day, every day. It's provided them with a comfortable living and given them the platform to be extremely successful doing something they love. On the other side, esports are providing a great deal of exciting entertainment for people. Fans are able to watch people at the top of their game, way beyond their own level, playing a sport they love, which may sound vaguely familiar. Rocket League, within the context of esports, is a relatively small esports game, as it was released in 2015, with the first competitive season starting in 2016. It's fairly new to the esports scene. Rocket League, for those that don't know, is a game which combines football or soccer with driving rocket-powered vehicles. The physics of this game enables you to reach heights unheard of with a car, by using the rocket propulsion of your boost to fly up and hit the ball no matter how high it climbs within the closed arena. Rocket League, in comparison to the largest and most popular esports such as Dota 2, is a little off the pace. Although the game is continuing to steadily grow and hold the attention of thousands of viewers, it isn't the best example of the explosive potential of esports entertainment. The Dota 2 International 2018, the largest Dota 2 event, had an average of over 4 million viewers watching online. there were 20,000 people there live in the arena to watch the players compete for their share of a $25.5 million prize pool. On the other hand, Rocket League's largest event in 2018, the Season 6 RLCS Finals, had 90,000 viewers watching on Twitch and several thousand people there live in the arena watching the players compete for their share of $500,000. There was a stark difference between the two. The first season of the RLCS, the Rocket League Championship Series, starting in 2016, kicked off Rocket League's venture into eSports. Initially, thousands of teams from the US and the EU entered into 2 sets of open qualifiers until there were 8 teams remaining in the grand finals. There was a total of $75,000 in prize pool money to be shared over the course of 5 months, with $55,000 of that prize pool up for grabs in the grand finals. The first grand finals were held in LA in a 1,500 capacity arena.
So you've seen how the world of esports works, but come with me and I'll show you how Rocket League is really played.
Since Season 1 of the RLCS, it has developed a lot, taking on many forms over the years in line with the expansion and growth and popularity of the game, up until the point we're at now in Season 7. There's been a few key changes, including the introduction of Oceania as a new qualifying region in Season 3. Then in Season 4 they introduced the RLRS, Rocket League Rival Series, for the US and EU regions. In Season 6 the overall prize pool reached $1 million, and for Season 7 players are now able to compete on any platform that Rocket League is available. Competitive Rocket League, in its most recent completed form as of Season 6, still enables anyone to compete and try to qualify to play against some of the best teams in the world. But what the RLRS does is act as a second division, below the league in which all the top teams play. For those newcomers, they may be able to qualify for the RLRS before trying to compete at a higher level if they are good enough. Those teams that are in the RLRS play each other once in a best of 5, and the top 2 teams in the league then play the bottom 2 from the RLCS league to see who gets promoted or relegated, or even whether nothing changes. The RLCS league play, in which each team plays each other once in a best of 5, determines who is going to the World Championships. The top 4 teams from the US and the EU in their respective RLCS league qualify. It is only the top 2 from Oceania that reach the finals. For Season 7, which is currently in the early stages of competition, has introduced South America as a new qualifying region as the game continues to expand. Similarly to Oceania, there will be 2 teams qualifying from the South American region. The position that the teams place in the RLCS league play will determine where the teams start in the grand finals. The RLCS World Championship structure has barely changed, with only slight adjustments made taking into account the new regions being added. As is the case for many eSport titles, the grand finals works with a 2-lot system. There is a winner's bracket and a loser's bracket. Everyone starts in the winner's bracket, and if you lose you drop to the loser's bracket. If you lose in the loser's bracket, then you are out of the competition. The grand final consists of a winner of the winner's bracket and the winner of the loser's bracket. For winner of the loser's bracket, they have to beat the winner of the winner's bracket twice to be crowned champions. To compete at the highest level and be the very best, a lot of dedication is needed and a lot of time has to be put into the game. Based on Steam's record of time played on a game, most pros have put between 3,000 to 5,000 hours into Rocket League. That's 125 to 208 days of playing time. If you were to play for 7 hours a day, it would take you 571 days to get to 4,000 hours playing time, and yet these pros are still grinding constantly. Professional eSport players, no matter how talented and skillful they are, have a lot to thank their fans for. They wouldn't be able to have this career if the fans weren't there to tune into every stream and continually support their favourite players and teams across the globe. The support and backing behind eSports is there, as millions of people constantly show how much they love to watch and be a part of the eSports community. The fans are fueling the competition, and this is just the beginning.
World Championships at the Copper Box Arena in London, UK.
Rocket League can really pull in a big crowd. But let's take a trip into this game's community and see how competitive Rocket League is really rewarding its fans.
As the Rocket League community reaches a whopping 46 million players, it's fair to say the community is becoming very strong. A total of over 9.6 thousand years have been contributed to the game, but it's not all casual play. mini-leagues have been developed and casual players have become stronger. We spoke to the EU Commissioner of United Rogue to talk to us about his mini-league and how they work.
Basically, it's a community rather than like a league or an organisation. We always try and do everything community-led. So we host a bunch of different leagues. Rocket League and 2K are our like, most successful league. The EU league that I look after has been going for about a year now. The EU side has grown a lot in the past year. We started with 30 people. Well, to tell the truth, we started, there was about 5 people who were in the NA side who were trying to play in NA. There wasn't really a league for EU back then. I think listening to the players and the community really, and like taking the feedback at the end of seasons, what did they want us to do differently. Any league that's going to be successful long term, you've got to look after your own community. Like you put in a league nobody likes, nobody's going to turn up. Especially we have a lot of people on the Diamond to Champ course, and a lot of players on the C2 to C3 course. I think they get a lot of benefit from playing with higher ranked players. Just learning to play at a higher speed and becoming a bit more aware of what's going on in the game.
Mini-leagues are not the only way for the community to become stronger. Content creators or influencers have embraced Rocket League and turned the game into great content since the game has existed. Creators like John Sandman make content that isn't based on skill or gameplay, more focused on the fun aspects like crate openings or item trading, which is better for younger audiences and for the players of the game who enjoy customization of the cars.
Welcome to Bingo. We have a bingo board, players' choice crates, ferocity crates. They're all mixed up.
Another creator is Snis. He makes content that takes Rocket League into more depth, more analysis, which really understands the teaching of the game, more like a teacher of Rocket League.
Either way, you've come to the right place. This is Rocket League, or more specifically, Champions Field. This is ironic because at the time of this match, I was actually a Champ 2, which is one rank above Champion, but because of the events that are about to unfold before your eyes, I've gone on a Tilt D rank train back down to Champion.
Content creators create hubs for fans of the same topic to really come together and talk. Having such a dedicated and invested community really allows developers like Psyonix to improve their professional tournaments. We spoke with professional player CJCJ to tell us his experience with the game.
So my first LAN back in the day, there wasn't much of a production quality. I think it was in Sydney in Australia, and yeah, there wasn't much of a crowd there, and the production quality is pretty low, and it didn't really seem all too professional. But nowadays, a few years later, or a couple of years later, we've got huge production qualities. I mean, you see the World Championships, there's 3,000 or 4,000 people there live, and everything seems so much more professional, and you've got security there ushering you around, and it really feels like you're part of something pretty big. My favourite moment of Rocket League would have to be beating Chiefs last season in the Oceanic qualifiers. So we basically beat them in an upper bracket final to make the World Championships, to qualify for Las Vegas. So that was pretty exciting, considering Chiefs were the #1 team in Australia for a few seasons now, and to knock them off and win the Oceanic Championship was pretty special. I think Rocket League's so awesome because everything you do in the game is controlled by you. I mean, there's other sports, other sport games like FIFA or NBA 2K where, say, you press a button and then the computer will determine whether that's going to be a good shot or a good pass. And in Rocket League, it's all physics-based, and you control all your movement and how you interact and hit the ball and other players. So I think that's really exciting because, you know, if you make a mistake, it's on you. If you don't hit that shot, then you know, you could have done something better. It's not a computer determining that, and also the fact that it's a team game, and you know, you got 2 other players on your team typically in the 3v3 mode. So being able to incorporate sporting elements and teamwork and passing and communication is pretty fun for me.
This all ties in with the legitimacy idea. Esports are bringing in huge crowds of people and making communities of people who enjoy similar interests, just like actual sports. So what is the difference?
With such a booming community, it's clear to see Rocket League has a very bright future. But let's take a look at its community and see what they still want from their game.
So what does the future hold for this bright esport? Well, esports heading for $1.8 billion in revenue. It's clear to see the market is still growing. With talks being held about the Olympics, we could see it on a global scale. With Rocket League developing far since its origin, it's hard to see what they will do next, but people still want many different things added in.
Yeah, absolutely see a future for Rocket League. I mean, we've seen how far it's come so far. I mean, it started off as just a little indie game on Steam. You know, it didn't have really any sort of following, and all of a sudden it just grew and grew into its own little genre, I suppose. I mean, there's no games like it, so now we've got like a dedicated fan base just for Rocket League, and fans all around the world that want to come and watch and support their favourite teams and players. We definitely need some in-game items, which that means just basically some items that will, you know, you can have your eSports, your orgs, your teams, and they can have their little stickers and stuff on the cars, and that'll, you know, give a bit of revenue for the organisation and the players. So I think that'll really encourage some orgs to enter the scene and some bigger orgs to come along board.
All this could do is grow the game and the community as more people are being listened to. And what will happen to our mini-league?
We've been growing every season. We've doubled our player base. So we started from, well, for EU anyway, we started from 30 players. And now we've got 250 in just under a year. We have quite a regimented induction process as well, so we don't just let anyone come in. A lot of the people we have in there tend to be quite active in the community. Hopefully, our plan is to expand into more games for EU. NA already do multiple games. They've got over 3,000 members now, and they offer Rocket League, NBA 2K, Fortnite, and different things like that. So it'd be good if we could offer our players other things to compete in and play in. But there isn't a lot of support for smaller grassroots organisations like us, or any of the umpteen EU or NA leagues you can find.
There are several non-violent titles making waves in the competitive gaming scene, such as Rocket League and digital version of real-world sports like FIFA and PES. Last year it was announced that competitive gaming would become a medal sport in the Asian Games, but this has since been brought to question by the lack of overarching government bodies. In terms of league stability, one idea pro players are very interested in seeing is in-game items that represent themselves and organisations.
I really think that Rocket League is one of the best titles that, when you look at the Olympics wanting to integrate esports. I mean, the reason why Rocket League is really so successful is because it's so accessible to everyone. I mean, in Rocket League, you know, you've got 2 goals. It's a simulation of soccer or hockey, I suppose. You've just got 6 cars on a field, and the most goals win. So I think the way that it's so accessible, we've got, you know, other top esports titles that are shooters, which aren't really as accessible to the younger generation, I suppose. So when you look at the Olympics and the sporting sort of theme, I think Rocket League is definitely one of the first titles you look towards in terms of incorporating esports into the Olympics. I think that's pretty exciting, and yeah, it's just so accessible and great for the younger audience.
Personally, I think Rocket League has a lot of room to grow, and I'm excited for its future. Hopefully it will make its way into the Olympics and teams will have branding in the game, so when teams play, it looks more professional. I have really high hopes for this game, and I hope to see it on the main stage of eSports soon.
We hope you've enjoyed our spectacular tour, and thank you for watching. We'd like to thank everybody that helped with this project, and maybe we've opened your eyes to the wonderful world of eSports.